Hold on. One of the heaters is malfunctioning. Ah. So ironic. One of my heaters must be heated up in order to function because it has some grease in it, has a fan to blow the heat, but the fan won't turn on when it's cold because the grease is cold. Anyway, here we go. All right, so just continuing right where we left off, we're going to get this fixed up. We're going to get the test working again, and then we are going to move on to getting that pathing done. Whoa. So where did I leave off? Let me hit undo a couple of times. We added an expires at to the queue info. All right, so we are... Okay, we're doing something like this, I think. Yeah. So we could just take these to start with. All right, so if not queue infos.length, then queue infos.push, and then we'll just put a blank in here. And this is not going to affect the original because this is just a copy. All right, so where were we defining queue info earlier? Okay, I'm not into this one right now. You know, maybe I will search on YouTube to try to find a larger playlist. So what are we doing here? I'll have to figure this out backwards. Is Dash making good progress? What metric are you using for good progress? What is it that you want to know? Tell me more. The line has been going up the last several days. Ooh, topped out at 27.1. we're making good progress on getting it on the web so that merchants will be able to use it and customers will be able to use it. Okay, age stale. All right, so DSQ is really the most important thing here. It's host node, what it's been reported by, and when it expires. Okay, so we got the expires at in place. I might have to crank this up a little more. All right, let's see if... Get the temperature up a little bit in here. It's freezing cold. How far away from achieving that goal? Well, there's a lot of components to it. It's not like there's a clear finish line of now it's ready. It depends on what level of interaction you want to have, right? So in large part, if you don't need a opinionated wallet, if you've got your own ideas about how you're going to store your keys and stuff, everything's there for you to start today. If you want to have a fully developed wallet where your only concern is defining a couple of key value store functions and you don't really want to do anything custom, you're not going to do any sort of tight integration, then it depends on how things go. There's a lot of, there's a lot of politics and it just depends on how things go. We could be there very soon. We could have been there 2 years ago. 2 years ago we didn't have all of the other stuff that we needed. But there's a lot of politicking, and I think what really needs to happen is people who are particularly, I don't know. I don't even know what they would be particularly. But people who have a more concrete use case need to have a louder voice. I definitely know of some concrete use cases that I believe are going to be very valuable, and I think that history has shown both short-term and long-term are valuable, but I am certainly not one of the loudest voices. Well, loud in terms of volume, perhaps, but, it's a matter of helping people explore what they want and quickly iterate through the possibilities to arrive at what they really want. Because one of the problems when people don't have the things that they want is they will continue to want them. Once you have something, once it's available to you, and you can see whether it works, whether it doesn't work, then you have to change your mind. Then you have to say, yeah, I'm really glad I have this and I love it, or this isn't really what I wanted. You have to move on. So as with all software development, the most important thing is to have tighter cycles where you're doing less more frequently so that people can explore that. But yeah, I would love, if anybody is interested in merchant tooling, I would love to chat with them and show them what we have and find out where it's lacking and make it better. So if you, or, customer tooling, what is it that you would like to see other than the line go up? Because the line go up because of some value that's delivered. The line going up in of itself is not the value. And I think that's where a lot of confusion happens. The line going up is not the value. The line going up is indicative of value that is created. And we gotta, I don't know. That's just one that's just hard. It's a hard concept. It's not easy to understand. Okay. All right, so actually, we're going to keep that way because I want to be able to just do this. This is a lot easier to work with. All right, so we're not going to re-render things that have expired. We're going to let those pass. Or maybe we do re-render them. Let's just say we do re-render them. Let's leave that at that for now. So that's sorting by the timestamp. So newest will come first. I don't know. I don't really want the expired ones to show up. All right, let's go back to looking at this. Are you happy with the team and leadership of Dash? Okay, so here's the thing. There are multiple teams. Some teams I think are doing really well and are underfunded. I think that there's a lot of bloat and bureaucracy, and it feels a lot less like a DAO and a lot more like the federal government. There's a lot of like, okay, we all make mistakes, right? So we have to fund things with waste in mind. We have to account for waste being, 30 to 50% of the budget because it's innovation, right? But I think that I'm hoping that in the near future, there will be a shift in understanding the importance of having more smaller teams and no larger teams. A team should never be larger than 7 people when you're working in innovation. That's like when you're reaching maturity, you know, maybe you get towards 7 people. Innovative products should come from teams of 2 to 4 people. And there should maybe be a team that works exclusively in working with the other teams to kind of understand what the market forces, how the market forces need to drive that, or maybe some sort of facilitation, but not until the prototypes are done. When we're in a pre-prototype phase, there should be no large teams. And most of the stuff in the industry seems like it's in a pre-prototype phase. Not just Dash, but the industry at large. People put way too much priority on design, which is the very last thing that should be done. You know, it's the coat of paint that goes on the house before you sell it. There's too much front loading of design visually. And in some cases, too much front loading of design architecturally. Design should emerge out of prototyping. Pick a goalpost, prototype, pick the next goalpost, prototype. That leads to really great products that churn around quickly. So I am happy with some of the teams because I can see that they're smart people and they're iterating quickly. And even if they're a little too design focused on the visualization or whatever, they're doing something. They're getting work done. The teams that I am not happy with are the one that doesn't get the work done. Okay. Also, I think there's some inverse competition or like some non-productive competition, because there's been some projects that I've worked on that I wish had reached completion, but because one of the problems with the DAO is that with everything being by vote, which could be good, but you know, votes are often easily swayed, especially in times of crisis where people feel like they need something right away. You know, long-term goals, and I'm not talking year long-term, I'm talking, you know, quarter long-term or weeks long-term, can be pushed aside for something that's happening. Like say some other chain or some cryptocurrency fintech institution announces something, and then there's a push to, oh, let's integrate with this quickly. But if you weren't already, you know, if you weren't already abreast of the situation, it's too late at that point. So it's better to stay the course, I believe. In every organization I've been in and every project I've worked on, unless what you've discovered is the product that you're working on is a bad product that shouldn't be worked on, because sometimes that's the discovery, and that's tough, but you know, you move on, you cut your losses. But a project that is making progress should not be cut short. And we're talking about like reasonable timelines, like timelines that fit into, you know, weeks, maybe months. There shouldn't be a refocus for something shiny. But that's just the human way, you know? Like, there's something else that's really shiny right now that I could be working on. Because what I'm working on right now, in the end, are a lot of people going to use it? I don't know. We'll see. It opens up some opportunities for the future. And it documents a protocol that has not been documented. Or, you know, like, You need to have two implementations of a protocol, otherwise it's not a protocol. You can't have a single implementation of a protocol. That's not a protocol, right? So there's stuff here that I believe is fundamentally good and important. It's definitely not urgent, but things that are important but not urgent are often the things that we should be focusing on. So there's some other stuff right now that has the appearance of being urgent. It's yet to be seen whether or not it's important, but there's an appearance of being important and urgent. But I want to make sure that I get this to a good place, which will take me at least today, maybe tomorrow, before I switch, because this is where my momentum is. And I really do believe that there is value here. I actually, the project in of itself, I don't know, it's a catch-22. It needs to be explored for people. Like I was saying earlier, you have to have something in front of you that you can play with to really decide whether or not it's what's important. I think there's some hype factor to what I'm working on. It's not as hypey as some other things. But I think that ultimately it must be done, right? We have to do experiments in order to prove them good or otherwise. We have to prove them. Because if we don't, and it's all speculation, then people just end up chasing their tails. So I think that what I'm working on is critically important in one way, that we need the matter of, can this be implemented this way? Can it be used this way? We need that matter open for people to try and decide. But what I really want to be working on is merchant tooling. That's what I really want to be working on, because that's the only way at the end of the day that any of this makes any sense, is if people can use it in commerce. All of the cool things don't matter unless you can use it in commerce. None of the privacy characteristics, none of the storage characteristics, none of the characteristics matter unless it can be used in commerce. So I'm very skeptical, incredibly skeptical and critical, but at the same time, I'm optimistic about what the future can hold over the next few months, because I hope that we're reaching a breaking point where there's going to be some things that are experimentable enough that people will be able to have a real chance to get their hands on some stuff and make some decisions. And I think that that's good, because there's stuff that's been in limbo for a long time that needs to be out of limbo. And then we can move on, hopefully, towards things that are easily provably the things that are going to have the largest impact. But who knows? We'll see. That's what I'm hopeful for. I would love it. I would actually, it's kind of hard to believe that I'm saying this, but I would actually love it if I could work on Dash full time. Because I think that the goal of digital cash is good. I think that gets lost on a lot of people a lot of the time with all the other competing messages. Digital cash, I think, is a fundamentally good idea. Digital cash of the people. And I think I honestly believe there's places to go. I honestly believe there is a way for people to get more prosperity with that, especially with the governmental changes that are supposedly coming up here in the United States. Yeah, so we will have to see. Oh, wait. Gotta figure out how do I actually want this to work. Eh. Going back on and forth on this one, it's the display logic versus the default logic. Yeah, money and store of value just don't really seem to go hand in hand to me. I don't understand why people want those two things to be similar. But I don't think that they're a good fit. It must be, oh. There we go. All right. All right. Okay. All right, so we need to do expires at, and then here we'll do to locale. Oh, we're doing the same thing. To locale time string. All right. So broadcast at, whoops, and expires at. Do you think Ryan is doing an excellent job of steering Dash in the right direction? Okay, so I'm a little bit biased here because he's the one that onboarded me. I got onboarded to Dash based on his vision, and I believe in his vision. There are some things that we disagree on. There's some priorities that we disagree on, but for the most part, I believe in what he believes in. You know, like if we just did everything the way that he wanted to do it, I think that things would be 500% better, right? Or more. Okay, let me not say that. Anytime somebody has absolute control, things go poorly. So take George Lucas and Star Wars. The reason that Star Wars was so successful was because in the beginning, when he was not yet a proven director, or I don't know what the position is, but in the beginning, when he was not yet proven, people had more will to stand up to him when he was obviously wrong. And then you look at immediately following his, and so much so that The Empire Strikes Back is only good, probably because Han Solo, what's his face? You know the guy. Because he pushed back on it, right? And same thing with some of the other concepts and characters. And George Lucas has done a lot of really weird stuff, like Howard the Duck. And so Harrison Ford's personal choices made both Star Wars good, especially some of his ad libs, the I love you, I know, the pulling out in the Indiana Jones pulling out the gun, the guy pulls out the whip, he pulls out the gun. So some of the gold was from, going off script, right? So from that perspective, okay, no, if Ryan was allowed to just make all the decisions, it would end up just as bad as things are now, right? Because anytime you have one person who goes uncontested, you're going to have problems. But I believe that's not the way that it's going to happen, right? Like he will battle things out in the field of ideas. And so I believe that with the pushback and the growing together, yes, I think that Ryan's leadership is good. So not that I think that, to clarify, I'm not saying that I think that on his own his ideas are dumb. I'm just saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So anybody who's left in a position where they're not receiving pushback and criticism is going to end up sucking, right? So yeah, I think that he and I both believe in Dash as a digital currency. He's a little bit more on believing that it also can be a store of value. I think that's magical thinking. Yeah, he is more studied and versed in economics than I am. There's a lot of stuff that I can intuit, but I don't know the full history of it. He seems to have a much better grasp on that. Obviously, I'm a better programmer. There's been projects that we've worked on where there's things that I criticize, but not in I hate it, I don't want to, work with this person again, but rather I felt strongly about this, and it turned out that it looks like that was the more correct thing. I wish we had done it that way. But again, like I said before, you have to account for waste, but you just have to control the waste and get that loop on it so that the waste happens quickly. It's the idea of fail fast. We shouldn't try to fail, but we should get our ideas out to be in a way that they can reasonably be challenged quickly. You know, like, I'm not gonna, I have no contest that this is a good UI for this, right? I would love to get another round of funding to be able to work with a designer, but I would not want to have a designer have free reign on it because they make the dumbest things. Designers are terrible at experience. You know, it takes an engineer. User experience is an engineering position. Pixel pushing is a development position, but not an engineering position. So I think that's one of the things that goes wrong in two directions. You know, you let me come up with your interfaces. Okay, this is what you're going to get. But you let someone else, you know, a designer come up with your interfaces. Then you get the stupid, you know, press a button, no options, can't do anything, like useless crap, right? And so there's a middle ground where you work together and involve actual people, although people tend to favor anything that's pretty, regardless of whether it works or not. But, you know, you get that loop of somebody that's got more of the engineering mind. Doesn't have to be programming, just needs to be engineering. I mean, manufacturing engineering would probably be the best because those are the people that are all about streamlining critical path. So you need to get somebody that's in on engineering that can direct the flow of a thing, and then have somebody that's really talented at giving the pizzazz, and then, you know, meeting a middle ground so that you don't go crazy making really dumb decisions trying to have fluorescent rotating radiant corners and not get the bare functionality done. Because that's something that I get so frustrated with when designers are given enough rope to hang themselves, is that they do. And then an unfortunate thing is that people are initially wowed, but then they don't care, and they don't, you know, it's like, oh wow, it's rainbows and colors with sparkles, wow, you know, it's like, great, can I send money with it? Oh no, that part's not built yet, you know. I mean, it's one of those things that, but when you have that pushback, you know, it's like tripods, you know, you need 3 points to have stability. So you have one person that it's more engineering focused, one person that's more design focused, and then make sure you get that customer loop in there so you can drive a winning product. And you can only do that with a small team. You can't do that with large teams. All right. Well, I'm glad that you agree. I hope that you have some influence to get some of these ideas further out. All right, so we've got that here. I don't think we need this anymore. So we're going to get rid of all of that. We don't need that anymore. We're not going to do this count anymore. Okay. So this, after all of this, we're going to do rows.append child row. And I'm hoping at the end we get to do replace children. Because this is a fragment, so it can hold children, right? So then we'll do either replace children or replace... Let me go check out what we're doing now. Replace children directly with the rows. Okay, good. See. Let's see. I need to... Jojo is saying he thinks he can help with getting a little bit more style on this. I have to go now. Hope to talk again sometime soon. I'm from Australia. All right. Well, Bruce, have a good one. I look forward to chatting again as well. Okay, where was I at? I was looking in this. I was doing the expires at... Okay. So did we get all of the things that we need to get? We got network, denomination, host, broadcast at, expires at. Is that all we need? Is it just 5 things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really? Okay. All right. Rows, append children. Yeah, I think Ryan is doing a good job. I would like... Fundamentally, look, this is what needs to happen. There needs to be some sort of... This is the thing I don't know how to... how would you get people on board for this? It's common sense. You've seen it in any business that you've ever worked in. You like anybody who's ever done a group project in school or a project at work on a team... Everybody knows this. The only way for stuff to get done is for it to be broken down into small groups. And that is something that Ryan has been an advocate for a long time. In fact, I think that this push to turn Incubator into an onboarding mechanism rather than a DFO is something that I think that he's really wanted that since day one. I don't think that he's ever wanted Incubator to be a DFO. I think that there were struggles in the infrastructure, like for example, how to get the payments done, how to record work. There was a lot of stuff that was experimented with that early on, but then there was a whole thing with like crowd node that became important, and then some of the work on figuring out how to restructure some of the task stuff out of Trello got pushed in the background. And I think that the end result is it's got its ups and downs. I'm not sure. The nice thing about a DFO is that you have a slush fund of money. The bad thing about a DFO is that there's less accountability. And the voting system is really more geared towards a DFO than it is geared towards projects. because projects are elastic and the voting system is very static. So, and as a person who's a programmer, I really don't want to deal a whole lot with trying to convince people. Like, that's one of the benefits of a manager. A manager can communicate back and forth between the technical and the non-technical. I can say, hey, here's what I think needs to happen, and you can ask me questions, and then we can arrive at the verbiage that needs to go out for people to understand what's being said in a helpful way. But on the, you know, so it's a double-edged sword, but I think that I think it would be good to basically get rid of the DFOs but somehow allow for there to be slush funds. So I guess we can't get rid of the DFOs. We need to have DFO slush funds to help grease some wheels, to help get a first project that is maybe can't be explained in a way that will help people to know why they want it. Some things you have to see before you know whether or not you want them. And, well, you know, that was my whole thing earlier. So a DFO is necessary in some ways because there has to be a way to onboard people and let them experiment. But again, maybe the DFOs need to be capped at, okay, all DFOs, total funds, no more than 30%. Like, the DFO should be, okay, what is our waste? What is our tolerance for waste? And everything that is done in a DFO is considered to be, this is waste that might turn into something good. And then the projects that people are working on have more specific budgets, more specific itemized, this is what's going to happen. And, somehow bridge the gap where, okay, I thought it was going to take me 2 months, but it's going to take me 3, except that it can't be like that even. It needs to be, the accountability needs to be weekly. The funding needs to be monthly, if that makes sense. Because if I'm not accountable to show you the progress that I'm making, then I need to be defunded. Not defunded. I just need to not continue to receive funding. It's not even defunded because you're only funded for the length of the proposal. So, I just shouldn't be right. But yeah, it's very hard for people, even for me, when I hire other developers, it's very hard to see, oh, this already cost $10,000. But that's just the reality of software. That's just the way it is, and even when you get the amateurs and it balloons exponentially, you get the experts and it's still, it's not cheap. But I think when Ryan started, there was this air of everybody's going to work for free, but they'll get a little stipend. And it seemed like, well, except for some people, but the majority of the proposals, I think at the time that I started, were kind of this idea of everybody's going to work out of the goodness of their hearts, and maybe they'll get a stipend that will, buy them a date on Saturday. And then Ryan was trying to change that to what is absolutely the correct approach, which is hire the best people that you can and get the best work done that you can. And that, that has to be reevaluated. I think they're just, in general, there needs to be more accountability. And I think that is something that Ryan has consistently strived for. But yeah, the buffer part scares me, because there's going to be some times when I might make very little progress on something despite good work ethic, just because the thing is difficult or I get it wrong. Like with this CoinJoin stuff, if I'd known everything, if there was a team that was working on some stuff like CoinJoin, and it was, hey, I know that you're the team that works on these 3 or 4 things, I want to schedule some time with you. I want to get some of your paid time to be able to go over what my misconceptions are. That would be great, right? But for that to happen, there's got to be buffer. There, you know, people can't be in crunch mode, because when they're in crunch mode, is difficult to get somebody's attention, especially if it seems like it's going to be for free, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see. I need to grab a link to this stream that we're doing here, if I can figure it out. Where'd it go? Okay. Jojo, let me know when you're here. Okay, so this one, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Yeah, all of this stuff basically gets gone. So before we were doing the build-up of the Q stats, and all of that is gone. So we just get to delete all this. Wonderful. Okay, so what was the rest of this then? So we have the denominations table, and then we have the... What was the other table? Table body. Oh, that's probably just one I copied from somewhere. Okay, this one I think I got wrong. And I would need to go back and redo that potentially. Okay, what was the sessions table then? Oh, the sessions table is the one that are inactive. This is the available pools. Okay. I'm going to call this one the nodes table. I'm a little confused then. Oh no. Oh no, I forgot I have a thing tonight. Crap. Oh. Oh. Dang it. Okay. All right. So you're watching. All right. So, hey, Jojo, look. This is all you do. Kill all caddy. All I've got that's different is there's not much different from the last time I pushed right now. I could just get stash this and it wouldn't be much different. So get stash, script serve, and then it's going to pop up and say local CoinJoin digital cash dev. And then you just open it up and that's it. And then settings is where you can choose mainnet or testnet. And I would actually like to have that change the wallet as well. So there's some things basically that I'd like to change at the component level. And there's some things that I'd like to change at the global level. And there's some things that I'd like to change at the row level. So for example, over here, there's a bunch of these that are testnet. And then there's some that will be mainnet when mainnet's connected, and they can both be connected at the same time. And the same, I'm just about to change this table to make this work better. So there's that. But I don't know. I mean, this is very, there's not that much to it in terms of the UI. I definitely would not want people to accidentally, like, this is something that whatever the network is, anything that deals with the actual money, I think it should be that the stuff that deals with money is either mainnet or testnet. But a lot of the stuff that's in, so that would be wallet is either mainnet or testnet, and they're different wallets because I exposed the testnet wallet. This stuff is either mainnet or testnet because we're either working with real money or fake money. And then this stuff, most of this stuff could be mainnet or testnet. And this one, we could have two tables, but I actually think it's useful to see the pools, the node connections, the pools, the rate of updates, some of that stuff at the same time. So, and I'm totally like this stuff needs to move around. One thing needs to move to another page. This, I'm just kind of organizing it for my ease of testing right now. So that's what I've got, but that's it. There's 3 JavaScript files that I'm actively working on because I'm making small changes to dash join and to dash P2P as I'm working predominantly in the wallet app, which is absolute crap right now. These two are pretty decent. Dash join and dash P2P are pretty decent. Index.html and wallet app are junk in terms of their organization. It's going to need a heavy refactor because I'm figuring stuff out, obviously. And then this is where I've put my custom CSS is in here. Having that go out to a separate file would be great. There's a lot of stuff I want to share between the different things I'm working on. And then there's that's the only style sheet is MVP CSS. So that's it. That's the whole thing. So I'm going to get back to what I'm working on. I did something wrong here. Oh, okay, wait. No. This one is node rows. Okay. Wait, didn't I just get rid of this? Oh, dang it. So this one I don't need to get rid of. Okay, I'm actually kind of glad that I did that. This is the one that I need to keep. Because I deleted all of that and I accidentally deleted all of this. So that's just what I needed anyway. Okay. Oh wait, no, is this still here? Okay, so this is still here. So right, so we got these. There's the queue information. Oh, and by the way, Jojo, if you're still watching, I don't even think you have to npm install. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I committed the libraries to the repository because it's only 5 files. They're committed into the node folder, but I believe that they're committed. Okay, I could have copied them over into a vendor folder, but now when I do the npm install, if there's an update, they'll update and show as different. Look, man, Git is a tough nut to crack. Anybody can upload an exploit to npm. How many people can get an exploit onto your own Git repository? Am I right? Vendoring is fundamentally good, although it does have some tedium at times. Doesn't have to be, but sometimes, yes. Sometimes there's tedium. Should we develop better tooling to rid ourselves of the tedium? Yes. Yes, we should. That is one thing that Go did not get quite right. Well, it's actually, Go does have a good way to handle it. What it didn't get quite right is that most people don't do it. Because Go does end up with a lot of artifact crap in the dependency tree. But a lot of it comes from either C++ code where there's like CMake build crap, or there are some times where, for example, the assets that bundle with the web server are going to be in there. The main problem is that people don't utilize Go mod correctly, because they should be using, even if it's only one Git repository, Go mod is for every... Go is designed to work with mono repos, the dependency managers. Go mod is supposed to be for every project. So if you have a demo, if you have an examples folder, you actually do a go mod for that so that your examples don't bring in junk dependencies. And when people fetch a dependency, it doesn't start, it doesn't grab cruft. Because there's a lot of the crap in Go is just inadvertent because people don't, whether you're doing it mono repo or submodule or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the point is that wherever your delineation of your package structure is, you actually need a Go mod for each of your package structures, even if they are canonical. So, for example, I might have a folder that has a Go mod up at the top, and I might have a subfolder that also has a Go mod that's still in the canonical path of that larger folder, but that should just be there. Anyway, it obviously wasn't a great design because people still screw it up. If it was a great design, people would fall into the pit of success. Yeah, vendoring is great because it ensures reproducibility. It cuts down on bandwidth. It's many good thing. Grug brain developer like vendor. Many much. Grug brain developer like vendor. Okay, why is this? I'm gonna go that way for now. I'm a little confused about that. This import node thing. This is something where I need somebody with more experience to help me understand what's the right application of the cloning and the importing. And I've done it a few different ways and I'm just not clear which is what. Okay, I actually think that what I want to do for is separate these entirely so that we run the loop twice, because the logic is just a lot simpler if we separate it that way. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie! I can't see how Bitcoin or Dash can be a currency. It's more of a digital gold. That's something I'm not interested in. Dash, digital cash. If it can't be a currency, then we need to give up because cash is currency. And I definitely would say it's not anything like digital gold because gold, yes, there's a lot of speculation around gold, but gold is a tangible asset that's useful and desirable. There is no tangible asset to a cryptocurrency. There is nothing productive about it. There is nothing valuable about it. It is just bits. At the stage, you know, yeah. There is no store of value. There are suckers and there are investors. And by investors, I mean sophisticated people that know how to manipulate markets and get other people's money. So not even real investors, although they may also be real investors. But yeah. I fundamentally don't like that. I fundamentally don't agree with it. That's fundamentally not the world that I want. I don't want rich people getting richer by not providing value, but by suckering people. That I am against. And yes, many average people, well, average-ish, get rich using, some cryptocurrency scam. But that's the exception, not the rule. Almost everyone's a sucker. Where does the money come from? There's no economy. There's no work. There's no product. So if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. You're the sucker. Sometimes you might get lucky, but it is I guess here's the difference. An economy is an infinite game. A cryptocurrency is a zero-sum game. In order for you to get money, someone else has to lose money. In an economy, we can both get value. In a pyramid scheme, there has to be a sucker in order for someone else to make money. And if you pay attention to markets, if you watch the charts, whether it's through mathematical means or whether it's through intuition, you certainly can get rich, but you only get rich by preying on suckers. And I fundamentally don't agree with that. That's not capitalism. Or at least it's not free market. People have different views about what capitalism does or doesn't mean, but I think we all agree it's not a free market. When you have to sucker someone, it's not a free market, because a free market is a willing, knowing participant chooses to go into something to get value. Okay. I think I'm at the point where I'm gonna test this again. All right, here we go. All right, it's probably not going to work. But I think I have completed the logic. There's probably broken pieces, but it's now worth testing and then fixing. See, I do not have the console open yet. I need to turn this heater back on. Okay, that one's on. Oh, this one's not pointed in the right direction. Okay, now this one's on. And this one's on. Okay, good. So all the heaters are working right now. Yeah, I personally don't have any interest in exploiting people. And I look down on it. I look down on people who do exploit people. I think there's some degree to which you could say, well, someone's got to be a sucker and someone else is going to benefit from it. It might as well be me. I don't entirely disagree, you know? I had an acquaintance who was mentally retarded, and he was selling a MacBook for something like $300 so that he could do some stupid thing. He gets a lot of his money from the state because he is mentally retarded. He's disabled. And I bought it off of him. You know, because literally he's like, hey, I'm going to go sell this today. I'm just going to post it on Craigslist for $300. Do you want to buy it? And I let him know that's not a smart decision. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to get the money today. So I bought it. So I wasn't suckering him. I wasn't doing something to take advantage of him. But he was doing something that he was going to do regardless. And in that case, well, I might as well be the one who benefits as opposed to, you know, some rando on Craigslist. Hey, I'm selling cable subscriptions. If you sign up now, it's only $10 a month for the first year. But if you cancel, it's $50 a month per canceled month for the next 10 years. I swear. Well, I know you've dealt with Comcast. I've dealt with Comcast. We have both dealt with Comcast. All right. So let's refresh and see it break. Okay. So that went worse than I expected. And I'm wondering if it's because I inserted into the table incorrectly. This obviously worked. That should have kicked this off as well. So let's check out what's going on. And I don't know. Like, I have a hard time with mentally handicapped people. Because it's not their fault. So it's not like, I don't know, it's weird. Because logically, I know it's not their fault. Logically, I know that they're not doing stupid things on purpose. But it's when you see someone has an adult body, but the mind of a 10-year-old, I have a hard time reconciling with that. Like, it's a personal failing. I know it comes across bad. It's not, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so let me figure out what went wrong here. I'm assuming that this went right. Let me go put this in place. Refresh. All right, I see a bunch of yo-yo-yos. So the question is, Ah, here we go. That's it right there, I think. We have to make an exception for the nothing burger. All right, there we are. Okay. So here's our nothing burger. Oh, and then we need the reports as well. I don't know, from that perspective, I think that's why they say, and you know, I'm not trying to pull a moral card here, but I think that's why, because I am not any shining example of, you know, morale. And some of those pundit Christians really get on my nerves with their, you know, but because like God came to save, not to condemn. You know, that's, we're not out there to wonk people on the head in the name of God. If you wonk people on the head, it's in the name of your own, you know, ego. Not anyway. But oh, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well, whatever. Oh, judgment is the Lord's, because to some degree, everybody is the sum of environmental factors or things that are out of their control, right? Okay. I'm doing something else dumb here, aren't I? Well, that one's kind of got to be at the level that it's at. This is kind of at the level that it's at. We can denest this a little bit. In fact, I thought I already did denest this. That's weird to see this thing here again. Did I not get rid of that? Oh, I didn't want to get rid of it because I didn't want all the white space change to screw everything up. Okay, so we'll go with this for now. But yeah, anyway, like ideally, we would not cast judgment upon other people, because if we were born with their resources, good or bad, their intellect, good or bad, their family network, good or bad, their genetic disposition, good or bad, you know, because good things can become bad things, then we may have made just as poor choices as we perceive that they're making, etc. So you just have to strive to find a way to be your personal best and to lift others up. Hypocrite. Okay? Do as I say, not as I do. But that's the ideal. You strive to find a way to lift other people up and overlook their shortcomings, at least from some perspective. I think where we get into dangerous territory is you don't give mentally ill people firearms. You don't give people, regardless of whether it was their fault or not, you don't give irresponsible people great responsibility. Because there is, but I think that's actually part of the judgment as the Lord's, is taking away the moral aspect of it so that you can focus on the practical aspect of this is what needs to be done, and not have it be, well, this is a moral consequence, but this is what is pragmatic and works well consequence. And we have to offload the moral consequence to the moral authority so that we can focus on the things that are going to make the practical differences. Maybe not worded well, but something to that effect. Okay. So I got the should skip out of the way. So now in theory, oh, and I didn't add the reports though. Okay. So we also have this thing that is, reports. And so we do let reports equals object dot keys q info dot reported by if Hello! All right, so the thing we're missing here is the denomination. Okay, so I do not like the way that this looks. And this is also sorted in the wrong order. So we're going to swappy doodle this. Okay. So that took way too long. And also we need to justify this because its justification sucks. How did this one get correctly justified and this one not? That needs to load. Well, I guess. I guess we could just preload it with this. Or have it be two separate function calls even. And just call the one sooner. It's part of a init. I guess we could call it during init regardless. Okay, so text align. Justify normal. Oh, that's not even the right one. Okay. First child, justify normal. Justify important? Oh, these are variables. Dwee. All right, let me move this out of the way. I think that this needs to be justify right, or I don't. Text align right? Okay, at least it provides a clear delineation. All right, so let's go ahead and go into settings and let's pop this back over to mainnet. And something didn't go right because we should have seen mainnet pop in. Okay, so mainnet did pop in, but only 2 of them, not 3 of them. That seems odd. Did something else go wrong here? All right. Okay, cool. So those are popping in. Sweet. This I love. Okay, cool. So the number of reports should be equal. Can I make this a little bit wider? Oh, wow. Check that out. All of those disappeared. Sweet. So now I need to get the CoinJoin button. Oh, it would be nice if this was scrollable. This didn't jitter so much. Or maybe had a little bit of transition as it grew or something. Okay, I would like this to be also right justified and monospace. I would like this to be monospace, this to be monospace. So let's go do that. This is really nice. And so the purpose of reports here is just to eliminate any potential discrepancy. I wonder, I don't know how this got messed up. I think I must have changed something somewhere that I don't know what happened there. Okay. But that is beautiful. That is a win. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a win. This is awesome. So the reason that the reports is here is however many nodes you're connecting to, you should see that many reports. So in theory, if I come across a pool that has that doesn't the reports don't agree, then I should not pick that pool because it could be a malicious client that's, you know, somehow maliciously has found a malicious means to advertise. So if I connect to some number of clients, I should be able to expect that they're going to give me the same results. This is flippin' awesome. This is cool, but in a good way. This is really, really awesome. All right. All right. All right. Okay, actually, there might be one other thing I want to do for this. So let me go back here. Let's make sure that we are also connected to testnet. I actually want to... This is not going to work yet. Okay, I just want this to show up. I'm going to run CoinJoin here, and I'm going to run CoinJoin here, and I just want to get a screenshot of this, of it showing, when we go back to tools here, of it showing testnet as well. There we go. Huh, why am I only getting 2 of these main nets showing up rather than all 3? That seems... Something strange is going on there. I don't know how that off by 1 error is happening, but obviously an off by 1 error is happening, because it would make more sense if it was happening for both. I was seeing both testnet and mainnet having that problem. That's very strange to see it only happening on one of them. All right. Well, that's just really, really cool. Okay, here's another thing that's actually really odd. Oh, wait, no, that does not make sense. Oh, okay. So we got another problemo. All right, so here's what we got to do. Here's what we got to do. We gotta solve this in a slightly different way. Because I want all the denominations to be represented, if with nothing else than with an empty line. So what we're going to need to do here is how should we do this? Okay, node stat. All right, we get rid of this then. All right, so we're just about at the point of showing off something great. Yeah, I am thinking more and more that this is actually two things. So this is render. All right, which one is this called? This is called pool list. So let's move all the network stuff into here, and then it's going to gripe. And it's going to gripe that maybe this is never used or whatever. I would like to find a way to batch up more stuff inside of a single request animation frame, but my guess is that it's going to work out just fine. One, because, you know, there's not really that much we got to worry about, but two, because it's going to handle all of them in the same event loop. Okay, so anyway. What's up, X Logistics is? Not much, just at work, ready to get off and take another stab at React.js. Stab it till it's dead, man. You stab that React.js. You show it who's boss. And sprinkle a little jQuery on top of it just to pour salt in the wound. But you make sure it's dead. Good and dead. Thank you. You're doing a service to all web developers everywhere. Okay, cool. So now, as this fills out, all of these should stay here. So as some of the sessions go, those should stay there. And that is what we need. All right. Jojo, if you're still there, I'm going to push this. my second front end, but first time with React. The other time was just HTML and JavaScript. Well, my friend, you've jumped out of the frying pan and into the nuclear reactor core bomb thing. May the scripts have mercy on your soul. I tried React once just to see how it feels. You don't see me using it now, do you? I think it's, I guess, I don't know. So on the one hand, I think it's good to use a framework to learn patterns. I think that React is full of terrible patterns. I think that if you look at, it's good to learn multiple things. It's good to be able to figure out, oh, I like this, I don't like that. Some of these things are good, some of these things are bad. But I think that there's a lot more valuable programming skill to be learned with something like Vue. Some of the other ones people have talked about, Svelte and Solid and Alpine, and was it Alpine? HTMX. HTMX, I think there's valuable things to be learned in HTMX, even though I myself have not used it yet. From what I'm gathering about it, I think there's some value to be learned there in the art of simplicity. Okay, and this is working as intended now, so that's good. Yeah. Okay, so that's all pushed up. All right, excellent. So let me see how long I've got until I have to go. Just a second. I forgot to send the messages out about that. Okay, so I've got about half an hour. I'm going to move this send memo down. Since that's not the core thing. Okay. I gotta listen to this one with the headphones. I'm going to start this over and I'm going to listen with headphones because I love it so much and I want to hear it in all of its depth. All right, headphones. How about now? Is audio back now? Okay, my voice is back. That was not the right button hit, but okay, sound is back there. Sound is not back here, or is? Okay, let's see if we refresh. I'm going to go back in here. Let's show cursor and hide cursor. All right. And now audio's all back. Okay. Sorry for a few minutes. Audio was out because I changed audio to headphones so I could enjoy the song, and then the audio broke, of course. Because it's 2025. You wouldn't expect anything on a computer to work, would you? These aren't even 100 years old yet. We don't have this stuff figured out. Audio signals? Ugh, that's so 70s. If you want reliability, there's where you gotta be. We're not gonna get digital audio to work reliably for at least another 55 years. I wonder if in 55 years, digital audio will be better or even worse than it is now. Because in the very beginning, in the 80s, the digital audio stuff worked pretty well. Now it works terribly. Okay, so I need to go fix that button. That's my prime directive right now, is I need to go fix this button. So I need to go figure out what it's connected to. Actually, I remember. It was called Request CoinJoin Session. All right, and now I understand where this function is actually wrong. So that's great. So what this needs to do is CoinJoin sessions. There we go. All right, network info. That's not in the right place, but whatever, we're going to go with it. All right. So you know what we need? We need a... I mean, this is basically the place for it. I think that it needs to be changed around a little bit. We're going to take... Maybe I just need to do values, actually. Okay. So we've got our Q infos. I gotta queue this up too. Okay. Always make dates an optional value. Oh, whoops, this is going to be a number. So for testing, you always want dates to be something that you can pass in whenever you're doing date comparison or whatever. How's it going, everybody? What's up? I'm really actually quite excited about what's about to happen here. We're going to have CoinJoin working for the first time in 2 weeks, but this time it's going to be working better because I can select multiple coins and there's going to be goodness to it. Okay. So we need to sort by timestamp. Okay, what were we doing over here? Let me check this out. What did we have going on? Am I sorting in the right direction? Let's go back to mainnet for this one, so we can see this, because it'll actually populate correctly on mainnet, whereas you can see on testnet it does not. Look at that! Look at mainnet go. Okay, so the one that expires. Okay, so these do not look to be sorted to me. Is this jumping a denomination somewhere in there? No? Okay, so these should be sorted, but I don't see them being sorted. Let's take a look at that again. Sort by timestamp. Where's that happening? All Q infos. Oh. Denomination. Yeah, for any given denomination, sort by the timestamp. Okay, these numbers do not make sense to me because all of these should be in an order. Okay. Let's see what's going on there, if we can figure that out. Broadcast at. Okay. There's the clone. Pen child. This would probably be simpler. Yeah, what I should probably do is just move things up into here. Let's just copy this whole thing. There we go. Much better. Now we don't have to have all these weird checks. All right, there we go. Much cleaner, much simpler. But that doesn't solve my problem. I'm worried that we're going to see some Nan here. Or something BOGO. Alright, sort by timestamps. A bunch of zeros, some 1000s. Okay. Ah! We're not getting millisecond resolution. That's our problem. Yes. I was going to buy some pizza. Yes. 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 I'll be right. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay. So these ones, we actually want to reverse sort by timestamp. Or what might be happening is, let's see, are these still working? Are these numbers going in the right order? Okay, they're going in the right order. So what we actually want is the most recent. Or all right, let's refresh this again and see that we're getting these in the right order. Mainnet, this should fill out in just a matter of seconds. Okay, so that's gonna work out this time. We do need to get the sort order, q infos equals blah, 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 blah. Okay, so most recent are added up at the top. Older ones are added at the bottom, which means that if we find one that works, then we should just keep it. Experience the power of my sneasel. All right, I gotta go in 10 minutes here. All right, so Oh. Okay. Okay, if not Q info, then what? Where did P2P come from here? Hmm. Okay, I'll think about this for just a second. All right, what are we calling this? Peer info? Hmm. What am I trying to get out of this? A P2P connection, right? I'm pretty sure we're getting rid of all of this. So our goal is not to get a DSQ out of this. Our goal is to get a connection out of this. Okay, so I'm going to look at what's in the queue. And if there's a queue, then Okay, peers are done by address. Okay, so q dot host node dot address, right? So we're going to say I don't know. What are we looking for here? Actually, I still prefer host. Thinking the web here. Oops, nodes by host. Okay. So here we go. Grab that. You know, I probably ought to just have a list of hosts to pick one at random, but Anyway. All right, so we get the host this way. And then we'll do a connect node real hard. Okay. Bless my... All right, so that's all taken care of. So we get rid of the node. All right. Connect to best node. Really the most important thing here, well, we got to start out with network denominations, inputs, outputs. We don't really need collateral TXs at this point. I think we move this back over. Okay, I am overdue. I gotta leave. I really would like to see this. I'd really like to test this before I leave. But I don't know if I'm going to have time. Dang it, so close. I'm past time to go. I'm going to give myself a timer of 30 seconds here. Okay. Okay, Q info, sort, get connected, return P2P host. Yeah, let's just get rid of all of this. We don't need to test inputs and outputs here. We could test it even earlier. I'm way, way, way back up here. Where are we doing inputs here? Inputs, outputs. Yeah. Like that. Okay. Unfortunately, we're just minutes away here from getting this working, but I gotta go. All right. Alright, there's no matching DSQ anymore. Alright, and then all of this goes away. And then I gotta figure out what to do about that. But, alright, I'm out. But I'll be back later. I will be back. We're in a good place. It's all gonna work out. Adios.